Organizations need to resist the natural tendency to focus inward on their own needs and conveniences. Instead, that intention needs to be focused on the external customer. But here's the catch. This external focus on the paying customer requires the business look inward to the way everyday work is done. This everyday desk level work contributes to delighting the external customer. Creating this external focus by achieving internal alignment and excellence requires that the different teams and departments across the organization, each with different expertise, see themselves as internal suppliers and internal customers that are dependent upon each other for success. But what is it that makes a team or even an individual an internal supplier or internal customer? Let's begin by identifying your internal customers. Your internal customers are those teams or functions that are dependent upon you and your work for success. They rely on you to provide them something that they need to do their job. Let me say that a different way. You are the internal supplier to your internal customer. You supply or provide or hand them off something that they need to do their job. It's important that you as an internal supplier clearly understand the ways in which your internal customer is dependent upon you and your everyday work, how your work will either help or hinder their ability to do their job successfully. Now let's look at this a little differently. You are not simply an internal supplier to internal customers. You are also an internal customer to other teams within your organization. Your internal suppliers are those teams or functions that supply, provide, or hand off something that you need to do your job successfully. You rely on them. You are dependent upon them. Without your internal supplier, you are unable to do your job successfully. Now, as an internal customer, it's important that you work with your internal supplier so that they clearly understand the ways in which you, as their internal customer, are dependent upon their work for success. To summarize this, businesses are successful in meeting the needs of their external customer only when they look inward to ensure that everyday work is occurring in a manner that focuses on the needs of their external customer, not their own needs and conveniences. Now, this requires that the different teams and functions across the organization stop working as separate, isolated, independent teams and begin working as a single united team with different but important expertise. It requires that these teams clearly understand the ways in which the internal customer is dependent upon the internal supplier, and that internal supplier provides, supplies, or hands off something that the internal customer needs to do their job. It also requires that these teams start working together as interdependent internal suppliers and internal customers that support each other in accomplishing something that is important to the external customer and is important to the business. If you have any questions or comments or think we can help the different teams across your organization work together as internal suppliers and internal customers, feel free to reach out to us at internalcustomers@outlook.com.